Hello everyone, my name is Hai. For this part of the assignment, I will be pretending to be an ECE 111 instructor, teaching pre-service educators and using the case study no qualified staff. In these situations, there may not be a qualified RECE present, which raises concerns about children's safety and regulations. One communication skill that can be used here is iMessaging. iMessaging allows us to express concerns respectfully and professionally. Instead of blaming someone, we focus on the situations, how we feel, why it matters, and what should happen moving forward. We would use iMessaging during conflict or when professional standards may be at risk. One benefit of iMessaging is that it helps keep the conversations calm and focus on the situations instead of blaming the other persons. It also supports respectful communications within a team. However, it may not be effective if the other person is unwilling to listen. It can also be difficult to use when emotions are strong. To demonstrate it, I will now do a short role play with my partner. I will be Lindsay and my partner will be Polly, the supervisor. Hi, do you have time?
Yes,
I want to say something. I feel concerned when there isn't a qualified REC person at the center because that could affect children's safety and well-being. Also, I worry about whether we are following regulations. In the future, I think we should make sure a qualified staff member is present whenever the center is open.
we are short staffed currently, so it's hard to guarantee that.
I understand these situations has been difficult for you. At the same time, I still believe student safety, well-being, and following regulations should remain a priority. In addition to iMessaging, another important communication skill is active listening. Active listening means giving someone the full attention and showing that you understand what they are saying through both verbal and nonverbal behaviors. Active listening should be used during disagreements, sensitive discussions, and when someone is sharing concerns. One advantage of active listening is that it builds trust and reduces misunderstandings. It also helps the other person feel heard and respected, which supports a more positive and collaborative work environment. To show how active listening works in practice, I will now continue the role play with my partner.
We've been short staffed for quite a while now, and I've been trying to fill in shift, but it's not that easy.
So what you are saying is that the main issues right now is the ongoing short staff. Is that correct? It sounds like you've been doing everything you can to manage schedule.
Yes, I have. It's just that we don't have enough qualified staff available.
I understand how stressful that must be. Trying to balance schedule and still meet requirements is not easy. However, sometimes scheduling feels like solving a puzzle with missing pieces. Have you been trying your best?
Yes, I have, but it's been challenging.
I appreciate you being honest about that. Thank you for explaining the situations. It really helps me to understand what's going on. In these conversations, I ask questions and use paraphrasing to make sure I understood Polly correctly. I face her, maintain eye contact, and use open body language with small gestures like nodding. I did not interrupt while she was speaking, and I used light humor appropriately to reduce tensions. These behaviors show that I was actively listening. In addition to iMessaging and active listening, I will now demonstrate two other interpersonal communication skills. The first skill I will demonstrate is empathy.
We are short staffed currently, so it's quite challenging trying to manage the schedule.
I understand this has been stressful for you. Managing staff shortage while meeting regulations is not easy.
Yes, it definitely has been challenging.
In this example, I use empathy by acknowledging Polly's stress and challenges. I use this skill because staffing shortage can create pressures. The advantage of empathy is that it reduces tensions and helps build trust within a team. The second skill I will demonstrate is collaboration. Maybe we can review the schedule together and see if there is temporary solution to ensure a qualified staff is present.
That sounds reasonable. We can look at the adjustment.
I'm happy to work together on this so we can support the team and ensure children's safety. In this example, I use collaborations by suggesting that we work together to find solutions. I use this skill because this issue requires teamwork. The advantage of collaborations is that it focuses on problem solving and supports a positive professional relationship. Finally, interpersonal communications is an important part of my professional responsibility as an early childhood educator. Humber Steering Code of Community Standards requires me to act respectfully and professionally at all times. In communications, this means speaking respectfully and handling conflict in a responsible way. For example, if I disagree with a colleague about scheduling or responsibilities, I should have calm and professional discussions instead of arguing or blaming. Another example is when there is a concern about student safety or central policies. In that case, I must report the issue properly and follow the correct procedures instead of ignoring it. After graduations, I will follow the College of ECE Code of Ethics and Standards of Practice. I chose Standard 1 because it focuses on building respectful relationships and putting children's well-being first. I also chose Standard 4 because it requires educators to act responsibly and follow regulations. In communications, this means staying calm, respectful, and cooperative.